Hello guys, it's the Unclear 999. Today's video is about men, financial status by age. For many men navigating their financial journey through their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s feels like silently climbing a mountain with a weight that keeps getting heavier while being told they should never ask for help or show that it's hard in their 20s. Most men step into adulthood already burdened by student debt, minimal financial literacy, and the pressure to have it all figured out. This is the age of ambition but also confusion. They're expected to build careers, save money, pay bills, establish credit, and somehow still live life and enjoy their youth. Yet many 20-something men live paycheck to paycheck, hustling through multiple jobs, silently battling anxiety about their future. In their 30s, the pressure only grows. This is the era of expectations. Get married, buy a home, start a family, move up in your career. But not every man has checked off those boxes. Some are still chasing stability. Others are working high-stress jobs they don't love just to keep up with financial responsibilities. The idea of being behind eats at them quietly. In their 40s, many men start feeling the full weight of raising children, college savings, aging parents, job stress, and a body that no longer recovers like it used to. This is often the midlife financial squeeze, where everything demands more money, more time, more energy, and yet many feel invisible, unrecognized, and emotionally isolated, especially if their finances aren't where they imagined they'd be. Then come the 50s, where reflection begins. Some men feel proud of what they've built, while others panic at how little they've saved for retirement. The reality of time hits hard. Regrets surface, and so does wisdom. There's a hunger for peace, legacy, and meaning. Financial burdens may ease slightly for some, but for many, the worry remains about health costs, about supporting adult children, or about simply feeling fulfilled beyond money. Across all these decades, men silently wrestle with their financial identities, conditioned to measure their worth by their income, their ability to provide, their material success. But the truth is, behind the numbers, there are untold stories of sacrifice, resilience, reinvention, and quiet strength. It's not just about dollars, it's about dignity. And as conversations around financial wellness become more open, more men are learning that true wealth includes mental peace, healthy relationships, and the courage to redefine success on their own terms. Every stage of life brings its own set of financial challenges, but also an opportunity to grow not just in numbers, but in character, compassion, and wisdom. And yet, in the midst of all that pressure, there lies a quiet revolution waiting to unfold. When men begin to step back from the financial chaos, take a deep breath, and start asking the deeper questions. What does wealth really mean to me? Am I building a life that feels rich on the inside, or am I chasing symbols of success that never satisfy? Because the truth is, no matter your age, whether you're just stepping into adulthood in your 20s, recalibrating in your 30s, feeling the weight of responsibility in your 40s, or reflecting in your 50s, there is always time to course correct, to heal from financial trauma, and to build a life rooted in stability and inner peace. But it starts by letting go of shame, the shame of not earning enough, the shame of making mistakes, the shame of not living up to some impossible standard of what a real man should have accomplished by now. You are not your income. You are not your credit score. You are not a failure because you struggle. You're human, and every man who has ever found his footing financially had to walk through storms of uncertainty first. The power comes in choosing to learn, to educate yourself about budgeting, investing, saving, not to impress others, but to free yourself, to begin paying yourself first, even if it's just a few dollars at a time, to track your spending, not out of fear, but out of self, to have the courage to say no to things that look good but cost your peace. And maybe most importantly, to speak up, to talk about money with friends, with mentors, with partners, because silence only keeps you stuck. There's strength in admitting you want something better, whether that's building an emergency fund, starting a side hustle, learning a trade, or simply getting out of debt one step at a time. What matters most is progress, not perfection. For men in their 20s, this is the decade to learn, experiment, and set the foundation. It's okay if you're broke, just don't be careless. Learn the value of compound interest. Avoid credit traps. Understand that your greatest asset right now is time. Use it wisely. For men in their 30s, it's time to narrow their focus. Find the things worth keeping: skills, habits, relationships, and double down on them. Cut out what drains you. Save more aggressively. Start building assets, whether that's a home, a business, or simply your health. In your 40s, your superpower becomes strategy. You may feel overwhelmed by obligations, but you've also built wisdom. Now is the time to revisit your goals, to recalibrate your life around purpose, and to start thinking about legacy, not just for your children, but for yourself. And in your 50s, the most powerful thing you can do is simplify. Let go of unnecessary burdens. Focus on financial clarity. Revisit retirement plans. Have honest conversations with loved ones. And most of all, give yourself credit. You've made it through decades of pressure, sacrifice, and reinvention, and that deserves honor, not regret. Because ultimately, financial success is never just about money, it's about freedom. Freedom to live without panic. Freedom to rest without guilt. Freedom to make decisions from clarity instead of desperation. And freedom to pass on not just wealth, but wisdom. Every man deserves that, not someday, but starting now. And while the journey is different for everyone, the heart of it remains the same. Reclaiming your power, rewriting the narrative, and realizing that you are not defined by your balance sheet, but by your courage, your growth, and your refusal to give up. No matter where you are right now, it is not too late. You are not too far behind. And your financial story is still being written, not just in numbers, but in strength, faith, and the quiet victories no one else sees. Keep going. You're building more than wealth, you're building a life. Because beneath the surface of income, budgets, investments, and debt, there is a more fragile truth we don't often talk about: the emotional weight that financial instability places on a man's identity. How it gnaws at his sense of worth. How it keeps him awake at night, quietly running numbers in his head, wondering how he'll make it work. Society tells men from a young age that their value is tied to their ability to provide, that if they can't, they're somehow less than. So when the job falls through, when the bills pile up, when the paycheck doesn't stretch far enough, it doesn't just feel like a financial failure, it feels like a personal one. And yet, no one teaches men how to talk about this. The pressure builds in silence. The fear gets buried beneath jokes, distractions, addictions, even anger. But the truth is, money struggles aren't a sign of weakness, they're a sign of reality. Because life is expensive. Mistakes happen, recessions hit, illnesses come, layoffs surprise you. And no one is immune. Every man, at some point, will feel the tension between where he is and where he wants to be. The ones who thrive are not the ones who never fall, but the ones who rise with humility, resilience, and a willingness to learn. In their 20s, men are often sold the illusion that wealth and success are immediate. Social media is flooded with overnight millionaires, fake gurus, crypto pumps, and hustle culture pushing unrealistic expectations. This creates anxiety, self-doubt, and a false sense of urgency. Many young men feel like failures if they haven't made it by 25. But real wealth takes time. Building a stable financial foundation doesn't look flashy. It looks like making small, boring choices, consistently saving $50 a week, saying no to debt, investing slowly, learning about taxes, finding mentors. It's not sexy, but it's what creates freedom in the long run. And for men who didn't grow up with financial education, it's okay to be a beginner. The most valuable skill in your 20s isn't earning. In their 30s, the comparison game gets louder. Friends are buying houses, starting businesses, posting vacation pictures. And for the man who's still figuring it out, the shame cuts deep. But what you don't see are the hidden sacrifices behind those pictures. The family help, the debt, the unhappiness, the trade-offs. Every man's path is different, and there is no right time to build your life. Your 30s are a time to get honest with yourself. What do you truly want? Is your job aligned with your purpose? Are your spending habits aligned with your values? Are you building toward freedom, impressing people who don't actually care. This decade is a powerful opportunity to shift from survival mode into intentional living. Then the 40s arrive, a decade where men are often juggling the most: children, mortgages, aging parents, career plateaus. It's a heavy time. Many men feel stuck. They've built a life that looks good on paper, but inside, they feel unfulfilled. Others are rebuilding after divorce, job loss, or financial missteps. This is when burnout peaks. Men in their 40s rarely get asked how they're really doing. They're supposed to be the rock, but rocks can crack too. This is the decade to reassess everything. Reclaim your time. Redefine your idea of success. Prioritize your health, not just physical, but mental. Talk to a financial advisor, sure, but also talk to a therapist. Your worth isn't only tied to how much you produce. It's okay to slow down, to pivot, to say no, to want peace more than a promotion. And for men in their 50s, there's a deep reckoning that begins. You start to see time differently. You think about legacy, about meaning, about the life you've lived, and the one you still want to live. Some men reach this stage in good financial shape, but emotionally drained. Others feel behind, with savings low, retirement unclear, and anxiety rise. But here's the truth. It's never too late to grow, to change, to begin again. Many men in their 50s start businesses, write books, heal relationships, simplify their lives, and find joy they never knew before. The goal isn't just to retire rich, it's to retire whole, to know that your life mattered, not just because of what you earned, but because of who you became. Across all these decades, men carry silent battles with finances. And what's missing isn't always money, it's compassion. The permission to be, the space to talk about stress, fear, confusion, the freedom to admit when you don't know what to do. Real strength isn't pretending you're fine. It's choosing to face your reality with courage and truth. It's asking for help when you need it. It's celebrating small wins like paying off a credit card, creating a budget, or having a hard financial conversation. You are not alone. Millions of men are walking this same road, carrying this same weight. And every time you take a step toward healing mentally, emotionally, financially, make it easier for the next man to do the same. Because at the end of the day, money is just a tool. It can help you build a life of freedom, but it should never be the reason you lose yourself. So whatever age you are, whatever your bank account says, whatever mistakes you've made, it's okay. You're learning, you're growing, you're doing better than you think. And the best part, you still have time. Time to earn, time to heal, time to live, not just to survive, but to thrive with integrity, with intention, and with peace in your soul.